And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, we are going to talk about OG Anunoby declining his player option and how this is probably like the absolute worst thing that could happen to the New York Knicks. It's like you can't be New York without something bad happening. Like just out of nowhere. It happens every single time with any New York team. Every time. It happened with the Giants recently, with Darren Waller just out of nowhere deciding to retire. Like, I'm still baffled and shocked and like all these emotions running through me with that decision. And I'm just like, we get a tight end, we give him a huge contract, and here he goes, just retiring out of the blue. All because of this and that and the other. And it's just, there's no other way to explain it other than it being New York. Like, there is genuinely no other way. And it happens all the time. It happens every single time. Just something bad happens, like, just out of nowhere. It's like, you can't have nice things. It's like they can only last for a few seconds, and then boom, it's all gone. And this is exactly what this is. So recently, the Knicks, they traded for OG Anunoby, and they gave up a lot of good pieces for him, but they gave up some pieces for him, obviously, and they got a great player in return. He was a fantastic role player, like, without a doubt, one of the most important players for the Knicks roster and their success. They wouldn't have gotten where they were without his defense, and they stopped short because they missed out on him because, he was injured, and, being injured, obviously, one of the best players on your team getting injured, it means you're going to lose in the postseason. It makes total sense. But this is bad. Like, this is really, really, really bad if you're the Knicks. I mean, he's declined his player option, and now he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, and he's very, like, a lot of teams have their eyes set on OG. Like, he's practically like pinching the Knicks right now. Like, he's grabbing them by the throat with this move. It's so unfortunate because, like, how do I sum this all up? So they've expected Anunoby, like a lot of league observers, they expected Anunoby to decline the player option for the final season of his 4-year, $72 million contract he signed in December 2020 as a member of the Raptors. And the Raptors, they drafted him as the 23rd pick in the 2017 draft. He was he's honestly more notorious, or like, I knew him for the longest time as being the one guy that like was guarding LeBron, and LeBron just absolutely torched. Like, LeBron cooked this man in the postseason. And I had a friend that's a Raptors fan, and he was arguing so much during this game. He was like, why are they putting this rookie on LeBron James? That is the worst possible matchup ever. And it ultimately ended up being one of the worst possible matchups. But he's definitely improved as a defender and as a shooter. And he's one of the best 3-and-D wings, and a vital piece on the Raptors team, and a vital piece on the Knicks and their successes. And let's see. Hold on. Under the deal, Anunoby was set to earn $19.9 million next season in a financial environment in which the salary cap has risen to $141 million for the 2024 and 2025 season. He could wind up nearly doubling that salary in the first year of a new multi-year agreement, which is, it makes sense why he would want to decline his player option, because, he feels like he should be making more money. But this is really, really bad news for the Knicks, because they just traded for a star. Well, not really a star, but they just traded to a player who's very, very important to their offense, right? And now all of a sudden, he's becoming a free agent, declining his player option. Like, they gave up a bunch of players just to get a player who is going to leave. Like, if he does leave, granted, we have no idea whether or not he's going to leave, and we have no idea if New York is going to offer him a better contract. But as of where things stand right now, it's looking really bad, and it's just like this thing happens all the time with New York teams. It's like something good happens, and it seems like it could work long term, but then something along the lines, like, a bump in the road just happens, and then boom, your entire hopes and dreams ended right there. And this happened with this actually, it happened with Brooklyn. I mean, they made a huge risk in signing Kevin Durant and in signing Kyrie Irving and trading for James Harden. Then they had to trade away James Harden, and then they had to blow up the entire roster and get rid of Kyrie and get rid of Kevin Durant. It was a risk, and it only lasted a few years. And it's like I said, you can't have nice things in New York. And what makes it even worse was how the Nets, they were on a winning streak. And then out of nowhere, Kyrie's just like, I'm going to request a trade. I want to go to Dallas. It's just, you can't have nice things. You cannot have nice things if you are from New York. It's annoying. And it's but hopefully, there's still hope. Obviously, there is still hope. The Knicks could easily re-sign him with a better contract deal, and try and negotiate a better contract with him. But just declining the player option, it only and wanting to test the free agency market, it could spell really bad news for New York. Because if there are other teams that are, and trust me, there are going to be other teams that are going to be interested in OG, then you're going to have that competition. And being New York, you're going to have to pay OG a huge amount of money if you want him to stay. Because there are going to be other teams that are probably going to be paying him even more to stay. So it's really, oh my gosh, it is such a difficult conflict. And OG's individual production, he averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, and in 34 minutes. And, per 100 possessions, he actually averages 21 points, which is great. Per 100 possessions, that is great. And he also has the ability to space the floor. He shot 39% from 3 on 4 attempts while he was on New York, which is, again, fantastic. And, his defense is just the other side of the ball, which is phenomenal. His defense is great. It was great in the postseason, and it's been great throughout the regular season. And when he was with Jalen Brunson, they were winning in almost every single game. I just pray and I hope that the Knicks, they don't want to break this up. And because this duo it'll work. They just need maybe somebody else on the roster, that could provide a good scoring punch. But they have to try and keep OG. He is a very vital player to this team. Extremely vital. Same with Josh Hart and same with Dante DiVincenzo. All of those 4 guys, they are untouchable with New York. Untouchable. No one touches them. But that's basically my opinion on OG Anunoby. And let me just see what else do we have on this. He averages 1.7 steals, 1 block, and 3.2 deflections per game after the trade, which is amazing. That is very, very good value for a defender, and you can't give that up. I'm sorry, you just cannot give up a player who brings so much value like this. You can't do it. It's that simple. And I hope that the Knicks, they're able to work out a deal with OG Anunoby, and they're able to have him earning a decent salary, one that keeps him happy, and one that keeps him in New York. I know I keep saying that I am a Nets fan, but I am a New York fan. Whenever the Nets aren't in the playoffs, the Knicks are going to be the team that I root for. And I understand, some people might find it odd. Well, guess what? It's my opinion, and I can do whatever I want. But that's basically all that I have to say about about this little situation, I guess you could say. And it really is unfortunate that OG, he had to miss the next 3 games against Indiana. And, you know, he even said, quote, "I just wanted to play," as Anunoby said after the game. "I wanted to try, like, at least try to help my teammates." And as he left the home locker room at Madison Square Garden for the summer, the Knicks' Josh Hart pointed toward Anunoby and Isaiah Hartenstein and said, "Those two better come back." So I hope that the Knicks listen to Josh Hart and they bring them back. And he also said, like, again, like, I mean, when another player on the roster goes, "These two better come back," like, especially when it's someone like Josh Hart, you better listen to him. Like, you better listen to him, New York. If you don't, some severe consequences are going to happen in the season. But that's beside the point. So with that is we are out of time for this third segment. Please, OG, please go back to New York. We the Knicks need you. Otherwise, the city is going to grow up in flames. But, you know, that's beside the point. So now we will go ahead and go into the fourth segment where we take this story to the 90s and we talk about Scottie Pippen and how he says that Michael Jordan's stats were inflated or fabricated or whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk a little bit about that right after this short break, so be sure to stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.